Would you like to elevate your videos by adding interactivity? In this tutorial, I'll demonstrate a simple method to incorporate interactivity into your video projects using Camtasia, a video editing application, without any need for coding skills. Interactivity seems very effective engaging these days. Whether you're making educational videos or product samples for your marketing, creating an interactive video was beyond the reach for most of us. It required critical coding or any complex software to be used. Well, that's no longer the case with software application like Camtasia. Camtasia is a screen capture and video editing application, but it also has the ability to create interactive videos using a feature called Hotspots. Hotspots allow you to create interactive areas in your video. I can show you how hotspots work. So here we are in Camtasia. This is Camtasia 2019. So to get started, initially, I'll select the Annotation tab, where we'll find the callouts section with basic layout. We have a wide selection of callouts to choose from and go through with basic tab from callouts section, and then we'll select a rectangle callout from the callouts section. As you can see, a callout is simply some text with a rectangle shape. I can move and position this callout anywhere on the screen by clicking and dragging it within the canvas. For now, I'll position it here. You can also change the text and color of the callout from the Properties panel. Let's rename the text as Review and adjust the font style, size, and background color of this callout. Let's make this callout interactive by adding a hotspot to it. First, I need to navigate to the Visual Effects tab. From there, I'll select the Interactive Hotspot option, located at the bottom of Visual Effects. Now, just like we did for callouts, I'll drag and drop the hotspot onto my callout button in the same timeline. With this setup, the callout button becomes clickable. Our hotspot is now configured. When we navigate through the Properties panel, we'll find options for callouts, interactive hotspots, and drop shadow options. It's important to ensure that the Visual Properties tab is selected. This is where we configure our hotspot to perform actions in the interactive hotspot. The initial setting is pause at end, and it's enabled by default. This means that when the playhead reaches the end of the callout clip containing the hotspot, it will pause and wait until the hotspot is selected. When the hotspot is clicked, it can trigger one of 4 events, each corresponding to one of these 4 options. You'll notice the 4th option, Click to Continue, is selected by default. This indicates that upon clicking the hotspot, the playback will resume from its paused position. If we select the URL, which is the first option in the interactive hotspot from the Properties panel for the hotspot, we can enter the URL or web address in the given field. When the user clicks the callout button, this web page will appear in a new browser window. Let's test the URL. Since I've chosen the URL option, all I need to do is input the URL path, for instance, ComLab India. Now, if I move down and look at the bottom, we can find a test button. Clicking on that test button will open a new browser window, displaying the home page of ComLab India. As you can see. Let's move on to the second option. We can observe that the marker is currently in a disabled state. It will become enabled once we click the hotspot to create a marker track, allowing us to place markers along the timeline. If you look at the left-hand corner of the timeline, you'll notice small arrows at the end. Click on these arrows to open a new track where you can place markers. You'll see 2 options, Marker and Quiz. For this video, I'll select Marker. As I move my cursor along this track, a blue cross icon appears, representing a marker. I can drag it to any spot I want. To create a marker on the timeline, simply click on the desired spot. I'll select the marker to rename it. Once the Properties panel opens, we can rename the marker for identification. I'll rename it as Review. Now, if I return and select my callout hotspot to access its properties in the panel, the marker option will become available. Upon selection, a drop-down menu will appear, displaying all the markers in the project. Since we named the marker as Review, I'll select that. Let's give it a try. Click on the test button at the bottom of this panel, and the playhead will jump to marker Review. Alright, let's create a few more markers. First, let's select marker number 2 and rename it as Learning. Now, let's choose marker number 3 and 4th and rename it as Application and Adaptation. Next, let's duplicate the hotspots and place them in different tracks for better understanding. Please select each callout and assign a specific marker name that has already been created. Now, readjust the timeline and select hotspot number 2. Click on the test button, and you'll notice it has shifted. Now, select hotspot number 3 and click on the test button. You'll notice again it has shifted to marker number 3 in the timeline. Perfectly fine, it's working. Let me do the same for the 4th one. Good to see it, all markers are working smoothly. Let's proceed to the 3rd option. Below the marker, the time option is available. Since option number 4th hotspot is already selected, let's randomly position the playhead on the track. By clicking the Current Position button in the Interactive Hotspot properties, we'll set the position for the 4th hotspot button. Now, I'll adjust the playhead again on the track. Clicking the test button will move the playhead to a specific time code in your project that we've selected. Let me repeat the entire process one more time, adjusting the playhead and clicking the current button. Let's maintain the playhead randomly set at the initial time on the track. Clicking the test button will display the changes in the playhead for the 3rd hotspot. Finally, click the test button. You can observe the changes in the playhead. Let's wrap up this video experience. I hope you learned Interactivity Hotspot in Camtasia. And if you want to discover more tips and tricks about e-learning tools, make sure to hit the subscribe button on your screen so you stay updated. Thank you for watching it.